Greetings, greetings. So today is day number, this is day number 17 of, I got that right. I think it's day number 17, 16. Losing track here of 30 days of relaxation, intentional relaxation. So what we are doing, usually early in the day, today is Saturday market day, so I'm doing some chores. So we're exploring something as simple as deep breathing and relaxation. So, no religion, no gurus, or any of that is required. So, we're already breathing, right? So, it's already on board and it's free. So, we're exploring whether or not just taking simple deep breaths, if it can make a difference in our mood. Definitely, research has shown that it is linked to deep breathing and relaxation is linked to our cortisol levels, and it can affect our body chemistry and our blood chemistry. We're exploring if it can make a difference in awareness of mindless consumption, mindless eating, if it can neutralize triggers, right, or patterns that we have of perhaps irritating or dysfunctional communication, or being triggered by the different things that we're being exposed to constantly, involuntarily, even voluntary and involuntarily on the internet, music that's we're constantly being triggered, right, to elicit certain kinds of behaviors and to inject fright and fear, which definitely triggers the subconscious to defend itself and to medicate and self medicate. So we want to see if something as simple as deep breathing can be a catalyst for relaxation, and it's something that we can do. It's something that we have access to. It's something that we can cultivate as a regular habit. So it's simple, deep breath breathing. We're keeping it short and simple. And I just want to encourage you to maybe perhaps keep your eye open to what are the things that we can do to change the way that we feel. Because feeling good is important. Feeling healthy is important. That does not mean that we won't have stress, right? Because stress is a part of life. But how we manage and respond, we hear this said quite often, but seeing it throughout society on a regular basis, how often can we see people managing not just the pampering and the soothing and the baths and the salts and the third eyes and all the superficial stuff, but how often do we see people um, modeling managing stress and soothing in ways that don't have anything to do with food or vices? Good question. So that perhaps is something that we can explore. So we're just going to sit into a comfortable position. You may want to add a yoga block if you want to give yourself some height. I have several yoga blocks that I keep here. They're inexpensive at Target. And we want to see if we can get our bodies into an upright position that's comfortable with our shoulders around, down, and back. So we have a lot of blood flow to the brain. And so also we're not uncomfortable, because being uncomfortable or being in pain and even being overstuffed with food is an obstacle to relaxation. It's like something constantly nagging you when the body is uncomfortable, right? So this can also be an opportunity to notice, especially if it's early in the morning or in the morning, if your body is uncomfortable because it has too much food in it, perhaps undigested food, or if you're noticing tight areas or areas that are irritated because perhaps maybe they're not being moved enough, or they're stiff, or they're weak muscles in your back. So relaxation can definitely be a time to assess what is going on in this vehicle that we move around in, right, on this plane. That being said, your eyes can be open or closed, and we're observing the cadence or the rhythm and the tempo of our breath, and the goal being to see if we can lengthen and really relax and sit into our breath. So that being said, So I just want to invite you to perhaps contemplation, to perhaps ask a question to your own onboard divine innate intelligence, um, and allow the answer to come up for you. It may come up now during a quiet moment, or maybe when you're moving around during the day. I found usually I can hear the part of my intelligence that's very solution oriented. Um, when I'm in the garden, or when I'm quiet and when I'm cleaning, or if I'm listening to ambient music, right? Because there are different aspects of our psyche, and I'm not a psychologist. However, I listen, right? And a lot of times we're asking questions, but perhaps we can't hear the answers because there's so much noise from professionals and from marketers. But we have an intelligence that we are all born with. So in contemplation, you can ask a question of something that you're working on or working through, maybe something going on with your children, your spouse, your partner, um, a challenge that you're having, maybe with advice or with patterns that you're looping in terms of behaviors, or consumption that's mindless that's coming usually from our subconscious. We can ask a question and allow the answers to come to the surface, which I find is absolutely fascinating. It's not mukajuk, it's actually quite practical, because we have a brain that has intelligence. We have an intelligent body temple that is self healing when we get out of the way, and also when we intuitively simply just listen. No middleman, no middlewoman is required. This is also a nice opportunity to write in your journal, and it can be as long as short as you want, a couple of words, whatever comes up for you. It's totally personal. If you want to write a couple of sentences, this can actually be a wonderful little chunk of self-care that is really leverage, right? That is very scalable, that has long-reaching effects, and just cultivating a simple habit of quiet breathing, listening, journal writing. It doesn't have to be a long production, and it's perhaps something that we can do very consistently. So today is market day. I absolutely love the market, and just one other thing I want to say, maybe perhaps something to contemplate, is as much as I love, let's say I'm a chef, that people may not know, and I love working with food, healthy food, and making it very beautiful, and I love movement. But I also really love simplicity. And I think people may think that simplicity is not gourmet, right? So, like, we're growing some beautiful tomatoes in the garden, like beautiful um, tomatoes. They've come out so nice. We're so proud. And just to eat it, the other day I was on a trip, um, a long trip, and I had a tomato, an apple, and a cucumber in my bag. And the tomato was about maybe about this big, and it came out of our garden. And when I tell you it was so delicious, I ate it plain with absolutely nothing on it. It's interesting. Sometimes people will look at you if you're just eating a simple cucumber, the whole skin and all. I'm like as if it's weird. I think that's very interesting. So maybe we don't think that simplicity is gourmet, but I find uh, exploring simplicity can leave a lot of space for relaxation. When we take the pressure to do more and to eat more and to make everything big and extravagant, can be a lot of mental noise sometimes. So I really appreciate simplicity. It's one of the reasons why I really embrace simplicity with my hair as it grows out of my head. And if you're interested, let me know my simple little bun. I have enough cotton on my head for a little bun, and it's so simple. I'm tender-headed, so it doesn't require a lot of work. All is simplicity, and being able to bask and relax in the skin and the hair that sprouts out and comes forth naturally, that I was born with. It leaves so much more space for relaxation. And if I want to play and do some other stuff, I can do that too in terms of creativity. But I have found simplicity to be very, very relaxing. And I can jump back and forth in and out of the garden, or sweating in a movement practice. And that all gives me a sense of vitality and peace of mind and a sense of accomplishment. So, inviting you all to create a great day, being very intentional about creating a great day on purpose, because you said so, no matter how many entities are competing for the very valuable currency of your focus and your attention. See you soon. And perhaps share this video with someone that could benefit, or if you may need to create some kind of circle of influence and support for yourself online, especially now. Isn't it interesting? This we could have been doing all the time, but if you don't have support around you, maybe perhaps consider how can you create support around your circle of influence. So feel free to play this in the afternoon, maybe before you eat, or so you can dial in to consume very intentionally with your food, and maybe perhaps in the evening if you would like some positive support when it comes to relaxation. All right, see you soon.